Risk assessment for service leak testing for firefighting system, 12 bar. Hydro testing.
In this video I am splitting the A3 paper for the convenience of the viewers.
Hazard. Non-compliance to permit to work, PTW, system. Lack of communication. Incompetent personnel. Not using PPE. Unauthorized work. Unapproved equipment. Lack of certified. Approved equipment. Instrument. Unauthorized entry. Manual handling. Pinch points. Vibration. Use of defective, wrong hand tools, power tools. Use of equipment not meeting specifications. Less pressure rating. Failure. Rupture of pressure equipment, overpressure. Exceeding maximum allowable pressure. Unattended pressurized equipment. Poor housekeeping. Improper access, egress, slips, trips. Electric shock, test pump. Working in adverse weather condition. Line of fire. Collapse of support structure. Simultaneous operation. Lack of emergency. Preparedness. Hose or coupling failure, whipping hazard. Unsafe depressurization of test fluid. Insufficient illumination, night work. Static electricity. Stored energy exceed. Safety precautions. 1. Prior to work commence, valid work permit shall be obtained and all works conducted in LNGI shall comply with _permit _ work _ procedure. 2. Approved method statement and approved risk assessment shall be in place prior to work commence. 3. Before starting activity, TBT. TSTI shall be conducted to identify and understand hazards and control measures. 4. Prior to work commence, all involved personnel shall undergo required training courses in accordance with _H.S.E. Training plan and training matrix. 5. The activities shall be in accordance with flange assembly, field hydrostatic testing. Metallic piping hydrostatic test. 6. All personnel shall use required and mandatory KEPIC approved PPE. 7. All materials not involved in the pipeline testing shall be removed prior starting the hydro testing. 8. Valid third-party certificates. Calibration certificates shall be available for pump, manifold, relief valves, pressure gauges, hoses and are suitable for the pressure rating of the system. 9. Only competent person in charge or test leader to do the hydro testing and shall be available for any action required during the pressure test. 10. All joints shall be inspected and approved for release from the QC prior to perform the hydro test. 11. A test package shall be reviewed and get an approval prior to conduct the hydro test. 12. Inspection checklist for hydro testing shall be available and filled prior to work commence. 13. The pressure gauge shall be installed at the highest and lowest location of the piping system being pressure tested. 14. Careful planning with all involved parties shall be done before starting the job to ensure executions will be carried out in safe manner. 15. Competent pressure test engineer, supervisor, test leader shall be responsible for the preparation and execution of the test described in the procedure. 16. Safety personnel shall secure the test boundary all the time and remove any unauthorized personnel from or nearby the test boundary and provide watchmen. 17. Inside the barricade, only there, Responsible person in charge, test leader and test crew are allowed to enter and operate the test equipment like test pump, valves, gas bottle, manifold, etc. 18. Ensure that the flanged blind ends or blind end caps for closing temporarily the pipe ends is properly fixed, and pipe ends must be fully restrained to prevent any damage, harm when any pressure hunting. 19. Hard barrication shall be provided on end part of pipe to be tested specially where test blinds limits being installed. 20. During the test, the line shall be patrolled by watcher frequently so no one would inadvertently enters inside the test zone. 21. Unauthorized entry to test area is not allowed. Activity area shall be barricaded using appropriate color barricade, yellow and black tape, and install caution signatures, high pressure test on progress keep away, and this shall be enforced by watchman, supervisor and safety in charge. 22. All involved workers shall be briefed about the line of fire and no-go. Activity work shall be allowed unless beyond the calculated safety distance requirement. 23. Test pump shall be equipped with the LCB and power source should be secured. 24. No bolt tightening is allowed if the hydro test had already started. In case of flange leak, the piping system shall be depressurized first and do the bolt tightening if necessary. 25. Workers shall be aware of pinch point area and use proper hand tools and protection. 26. All hand and power tools shall be inspected, color-coded and shall be free of defects. Skilled and trained personnel shall only be allowed to use the tools. 27. All equipment shall be inspected for wear and tear and shall be fit for use and color-coded. Preventive maintenance shall be checked to ensure equipment is in good condition. 28. Steel blind flanges to be used during hydro test shall meet the thickness requirement as per standard or as recommended by vendor. 29. All gaskets to be used for testing are of approved type meeting the actual pipe specifications. 30. Crowlanzilla gasket shall be installed, blind flanges, bolts, nuts and washers to its appropriate location by maintaining the torque values recommended as per signed test package, and same shall be confirmed with valid torque wrench. 31. Temporary flexible hoses shall be of the mount type and of minimum length with maximum working pressure greater than the test pressure to ensure the creep and yield do not occur. 32. Hoses shall be safely secured, anchored by the use of whiplash arrestor to prevent whip in the event of failure. 33. Ensure that the pressure relief valve is set at maximum allowable pressure for portion of the segment to be tested. 34. During testing, safety coverage shall be provided for 12 hours, executor and holder shall be present at the time of testing. 37. Ensure proper communication between the worker in the manifold area and in the end point. 38. The pressure shall be raised gradually until reaching the test pressure and to be held as per approved procedure and work method statement. 39. A pressure relief valve, PRV, with 10% of the hydro test pressure shall be installed in the test manifold to avoid overpressure on the piping system that being tested. 40. Test manifold shall be located in open and secured area and far to the line system. If necessary, minimize the crew nearby the test manifold. 41. The sectional pipeline to be tested shall be partially backfilled, supported by using sandbags, and joints shall be exposed prior to pressure testing. 42. All pipe equipment supports shall be inspected as per project specifications. Care shall be taken to avoid overloading of the support system or supporting structures. 43. shall maintain proper housekeeping at all times and remove all unnecessary materials. 44. Provide proper storage for used or to be used materials for hydro test with barricades and signage. 45. All Chicago couplings, fittings, safety pins and rated hoses of test pump shall be pre-inspected before use. Do not use damaged and not rated pressure hoses. 46. Test pump shall be grounded to avoid static electricity. 47. Ensure that test pump hose connections have whiplash arresters on them to mitigate whip during hose failure. 48. Always position test pump in a firm and stable place and at a safe distance from the working parts of a tool in case of abrupt changes in movement occur. 49. Ensure that cables, hoses are hung, routed or laid wherein it will not cause obstruction or tripping. 50. Work. Rest regime shall be complied as per heat stress index and abide by heat stress procedure. 51. All employees shall comply with emergency management plan. Shall notify hotline in case of emergency. 52. Ensure that the task shall be carried out with proper and adequate illumination. 53. Access to building shall restricted during testing, no unauthorized entry. Work at height. Scaffolding. Hazard. Fall of personnel. Fall of material. Dropped objects. Collapse of scaffold. Hole opening. Slip, trip, fall. Improper access, egress. Unauthorized modification of scaffold. Over-reaching. Safety precautions. 1. All personnel working on scaffold shall wear full body harness with shock-absorbing double lanyard and 100% tie-off and shall be strictly followed. Full body harness shall be inspected and color-coded. Any defect found or acquired by these items shall be removed from site and put in quarantine area. 2. Scaffold erection. Dismantling works shall only be conducted by scaffolders under a competent supervisor, both with KEPIC approved third-party certifications. 3. Ladders must be in good condition and must not be painted. Shall extend approximately 1 meter above the working platform and shall be secured so they cannot slip. 4. The user shall inspect the ladder before each use. A qualified person shall inspect ladders and attach inspection sticker. Color coding. 5. While ascending or descending a ladder, 3. Contact rule shall be maintained at all time. 6. Guardrail protection such as, top rails must be 38.45 inches above the platform surface. Mid rails shall be installed at a height approximately midway between the top rail and the platform surface. Toe boards shall be installed on work platforms. 7. Ensure that platforms are complete and there are no gaps, traps in boarded decks. 8. Toolkit must be used while working at height. Hand tools must be tied to prevent falling from height. 9. Prior to removal, modification of safety facility, authorization shall be obtained. 10. Refer to the approved procedure with no. 11. For hole openings 600 mm or less, plywood with thickness of 12 mm shall be used. For 600, 2000 mm shall be covered with metal scaffold planks. If more than 2000 mm, additional hard barricade shall be installed. 12. Prior to removal, modification of safety facility, authorization shall be obtained. 13. Hard barricade and caution signage shall be provided to prevent unauthorized entry. 14. Prior to removal, modification of floor opening cover, Safety facility authorization shall be obtained. 15. If floor cover required to remove for any work, supervisor shall inform to the HSE area in charge person. 16. Use mechanical assistance where possible for lifting, lowering materials. 17. Do not carry materials up on ladders. 18. Ensure that all access and egress should be clear from obstructions. 19. Loose items and unused scaffold materials shall be removed and not accumulate on work platform. 20. Barricade the scaffold to avoid hit by any vehicle movement. 21. Prohibition of overloading on scaffolding system. No materials to be off loaded or stored on scaffolding. 22. Do not hook chain block on the scaffolds to lift any materials. Do not overload the scaffold. 23. Scaffolding inspection shall be done and filled by scaffold supervisor and updated scaffold register maintained. 24. Climbing to scaffold braces, runners etc. is not allowed. 25. Scaffold inspector. Supervisor shall use HEC-approved scaffold tag system, green tag if scaffold is safe to use and red tag if not. 26. Scaffolding shall not be used, constructed or erected in case of storm or high wind speed. 27. Reaching shall not be allowed. Working outside the guardrail is prohibited, if job demands then another job-specific risk. Assessment shall be conducted. 28. Workers shall be reminded on daily basis that unauthorized modification is prohibited. If job-required modification they should call competent scaffold supervisor. Movement of vehicle, transportation of hydro-testing equipment. Hazard. Poor maneuvering of vehicles. Heavy equipment. Collision with other equipment or adjacent structures. Personnel crush or struck by equipment. Equipment falling into excavation. Overspeeding. Unstable ground surface. Safety precautions. 1. Banksman. Flagman shall be present for assisting driver, operator of heavy equipment. 2. Flag. Man shall wear green visibility vest with red helmet and with flags or buttons. 3. All equipment operators. Drivers shall have valid Kuwait driving license and shall have undergone defensive driving training. 4. Shall ensure that excavation with hard barricade, signage and blinking lights. 5. Equipment being used shall be barricaded and shall ensure exclusion zone with signatures. 6. Shall reduce speed when turning, crossing slopes, or driving on rough slick or muddy surface. 7. Shall strictly follow site speed limit and traffic signs. 8. Flashing lights or strobes and audible alarm. Sound shall be operational on all moving vehicles inside project site. 9. Park vehicle or equipment such that it does not impose disturbance to traffic or block the access. 10. Area. Location where vehicle. Equipment will position shall be stable, firm and leveled prior placing. Parking the same.
Please give comment and suggestions.
Thank you.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thank for visit our channel. See you next class.
Thank you.